You'd never think you had to learn how to round up a float until you have to. So here we are. So you want to create a level system, and obviously you want the level to be an integer because levels are round numbers. You don't go from level 2.5 to level 3. No, you go from level 2 to 3. But you don't want your XP stats to be integers because you want more control over how they increase and decrease. So you set them as floats. And everything is working perfectly fine until you remember that floats work as decimals as opposed to integers being round numbers. And this creates a problem because when you pull out your smartwatch and swipe right to look at your level, you'll see that when your level increases, it increases in decimals. And you don't want that. That shit looks ugly. You want nice whole numbers. So what do? The answer to that question is quite simple. You have to go to where you created your binding and adjust the text. In my case, it'll be the smartwatch widget that displays all the characters' vitals. So specifically where you saw the decimals on my screen will be the current XP, and that's going to be this area right here. And in our binding of our current XP on the event graph is where the magic is going to happen. Specifically with this toText float node, so we're going to delete this and take a look at what we got here. So I have my player reference. I have a component for my levels. That's where I'm getting my current and max XP, but you could grab it from wherever you're storing your levels or whatever stat you're trying to display. So we connect our stat to the return node, and then you get this toText float node. And if you open it up, you get some options. And I'm not going to go over everything because I don't know everything, but I'll go over with you what I do know. To keep it extremely simple, integral digits are whole numbers and fractional digits are fractional numbers. So when we say maximum and minimum, we're talking about the minimum amount of whole numbers being used and the maximum amount of whole numbers being used. So for the minimum, we want to use 1 because we want at least one number to be displayed as, the current XP text. For me personally, because the size of my XP text, I don't want it to go past 6 digits. So I'm going to set 6 for my maximum integral digits. And for fractional digits, we want to set everything to 0 because we don't want to use any fractional digits. We don't want to see any decimal points in our current XP display. Now, if you wanted to use fractional digits, by all means, use the same logic that we use for the integral digits. But for me, I'm just going to set it to 0. And with that, you shouldn't have any more decimals in your current XP display or whatever you're trying to display. Also, if you want to remove the commas from your 1000 numbers, just set use grouping to false. And that will remove the commas from your UIs when your numbers get in 1000. So let's test this out. So compile save, and then we go here. Once we click play, we could hit tab to open up our smartwatch and swipe right to look at our level, start increasing our level, and we see no more decimals on the screen. Problem solved. Okay, good talk. See you in the next one.